So you want to know who the real Brady Gray is? Well, as it says in the subtitle of the movie, that Brady Gray is a modern-day retelling of the story of Joseph. You might have picked that up if you've been around the Bible at all. But what many people know, even folks that have read the Bible their whole life, is that the story of Joseph is really the story of Jesus. He prefigures this person, Jesus Christ. How so? Well, Brady and Joseph, like Jesus, were favored sons who were loved by their father. In fact, so loved in the case of Brady, in the case of Joseph, that others resented him. They resented him to the point of driving them away, beating them up, running them off the ranch, if you will, only to find that the person wasn't run off or even left for dead, but was in fact elevated to a position of great power. You see, in the New Testament, when you read the story of Jesus, it's very, very similar. Jesus was rejected by his brothers that he came to, obviously loved by his Father. He is the beloved Son. He is the visible image of the invisible God. All the fullness of deity dwells in Jesus in bodily form. Jesus was rejected by his brothers. He was beaten and left for dead. But like Joseph and like Brady, he wasn't dead at all. He ascended to a position of great power. In the case of Christ, he was resurrected from the grave because he had paid the debt that was owed because of sin. Brady, as a follower of Christ, was an individual who knew because he had been loved much. It was his great privilege to extend that love to others. Joseph was a God-fearer, and he understood that the reason that he ascended, the reason that he survived that imprisonment that he went through even in Pharaoh's court, the reason he survived the false accusation by his boss's wife, the reason that he survived the beating is because God's sovereignty was on his life. And in the case of Brady, in the case of Joseph, and certainly even in the case of Jesus, what men intended for evil, God intended for good. We want you to know this story. We want you to know this radical love. And we want you to know that your Father has taken his Son and has allowed him to suffer that you might have real life. The real Brady is there for you. In order to have a relationship with him, you just got to acknowledge your debt before him. You've got to acknowledge your need, that only he can provide for you what it is that will give you peace and reconciliation and forgiveness with your Father. It's a much bigger deal than the ranch. It's a much bigger deal than just food for the day. It's a matter of eternity. And it's because of our great love for that story and the fact that we've received it, that we've tried to make this film, that you would engage with the story of the real Brady Gray. His name is Jesus Christ. Nothing would delight us more than for you to look around this website and look at some other links that you could hit that could help you connect with other people that have been radically forgiven, connect with other people that have been radically loved, to get in a community of other folks who follow the real Brady Gray, followers of Christ. We hope you enjoyed the movie, and we hope you come to love the story and come to love the real Brady Gray and follow him and radically forgive others in the same way you have been radically forgiven.